Okay.
All right. I want to welcome Kristi Green. She actually started the Transcend program about, 2 years ago now? Has it been about 2 years?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, when she did level 1. And then I think it was 6 months ago when you did the master level training?
Yeah, October this year, 2021.
Yeah. So not too long ago. That's awesome. So Kristi, thanks for meeting with me today. I'm so excited
Yes.
to hear your story and just kind of find out where everything took you. If you could start at the beginning, where were you at before we met?
Okay, so a lot of the words I'm going to use, I don't typically use anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and use them because those were the words then. Right before I met you, well, a year before I met you, I went through some trauma, and it brought up anxiety. I'd never experienced anxiety through my entire growing up years. And all of a sudden I was having anxiety attacks that lasted two hours, and they were like 2 hours apart. So I was having about 3 a day, lasting 2 hours. And it was debilitating. I couldn't get out of bed. I wasn't eating. I dropped tons of weight and felt pretty emotionally crippled, mentally crippled. But I kind of tried to get myself up on my feet. I got lots of mentors in place. I got lots of help. And after a year of working on certain things, I was told that all of those anniversaries would start coming up emotionally, and it would feel like the trauma was all over again. And that's exactly what started happening. And so I just kind of reached out, and I was like, I need more help, because I don't believe that I need to live like this the rest of my life, every single year, going through these emotions again and again. And the next day, a friend connected me to you, and that's how we started our journey. So we got on a phone call, and then we started the online program.
Awesome.
At the time. Yeah.
Cool. So now that we know your story and where you were before, what was your experience going through the program and your pivotal moment that changed everything for you? Can you tell me about that experience?
Well, I think the pivotal moment was my first session with you, realizing that within 15 minutes, all of that anxiety was wiped out. And after our session, our session was 45 minutes long, but within 15 minutes that we worked on the anxiety part. And then after that session, I started to notice everything that used to trigger me. And I started to see that those emotions weren't coming up. And so I was like, okay, that's the one thing that we worked on. I need more. Like, how much more can I help myself, and how much more can I help my family with what your knowledge. And so then I took the NLP training, the level 1, and that was a big breakthrough. I think, though, my biggest has been Master Prac, and how everything, like level 1 was kind of opened the doors for me, but it didn't feel complete. And Master Prac completed, it came full circle for me. And all of a sudden the trainings all feel complete. I still want more, and I still have stuff to work through, but the training, the knowledge, those doors that opened, I feel like now they've closed. It felt like before they were open and left open, and now those doors have closed behind me, and I'm ready to move forward. It's been very powerful to reclaim my personal power and move forward in relationships and just life.
Yeah, that's amazing. So just so that you guys know, a couple years ago when I first met Kristi, I was actually helping a lot of people that had PTSD, that had been raped, abused, had traumatic things happen. And I don't share that very often. But more and more, I'm also I was abused growing up, very severely, physically, mentally, verbally, all of the ways. And all of my trauma was coming up and manifesting like really bad in business and affecting me in my business. And whether you were abused, raped, like whether you could even grow up with a really healthy life, and we all internalize things differently and it affects us differently. And so I wanted to interview Kristi because even though like she didn't have a business then, where it's taken her now is incredible. So will you tell us like what the trainings did for you as far as career wise, and like where are you at and how has it really helped you reach your goals?
The master prac is where I really dove into my dreams of building a business. And since then, a lot of that fear has dissipated. Those at least the fear that has been keeping me from moving forward and building it. And so now I have a name, now I have a Facebook page, now I'm like trying to build it that way. I have this dream to help couples build their marriages so that they can be on the same page, basically. And so that's kind of that. I would like to do some retreats maybe sometime, and just because if the marriage is good, if it's in a good place, the whole family just falls into place.
Yeah,
And even still, we could chunk down a little bit more, and if the individual is in a good place, then they can have a good relationship with their spouse, and then the family is for the most part healthy.
absolutely. That's incredible,
So
Kristi. So
yeah.
if you were sitting across from someone and they were wondering, I'm thinking about doing transcend trainings, but I'm just not sure, I'm kind of on the fence, what would you tell them?
I would tell them I get it and just do it. Just jump on the side of the fence and get the training, because all of the junk comes up to create resistance in getting the training. Just do it. Just do it, and it will break through, and then you won't have that resistance anymore.
That's awesome. Yeah. One thing I've really learned is the very thing that I'm resisting the most is the thing I must do. And as much as like I don't like that, those are my greatest like moments that it's almost like this is your moment, Camilla. This is the moment that you decide to take that next step and move forward in your life and make the greatest amount of change. And I'm forever grateful I did, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
totally skeptical, like totally thinking like, this is not going to do anything for me, but it's nuts how there's just that little thing, if you can find that little thing that's unconscious deep within yourself and unlock it, things that seem so limited become limitless,
It's true. And
So,
you learn things about yourself too, that, oh, I used to have this belief that I really felt like I needed to hang on to it. And yet how that belief was limiting me in so many different ways, that once I, got rid of it and created something new, the other side is not scary at all. And it just opens everything up.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you,
So
Kristi. I really appreciate
yeah.
you.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if there was one last thing you could say, what would it be?
You're worth it.
Mm,
You're worth it.
yeah,
Every penny, every limitless, whatever, everything that you have to go through, it's worth it. And you were worth it.
awesome. Thank you, Kristi. And
Yeah.
you absolutely are. It's true.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, have a great day. Thanks for
Thanks, you too, Camilla.
being on here.